our savior, our king, Harman Smith. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Be right back. Harman, our true Lord, is here, chat. Our king. He is risen.
So the other bit of major news in the...
What?
So the other bit of major news in the Nintendo investor sphere is that the Nintendo Switch has sold 150 million units.
Woo!
You know, shocking game journos and people in the sphere, because the narrative...
Because they don't believe in the truth. They don't believe in the reality that Nintendo is king.
Was, considering that we knew that the Nintendo Switch 2 would be announced soon, that the Switch sales would taper off, that nobody would want to get one, that everyone would hold off for a Nintendo Switch 2. The community seems to very greatly underestimate like the nature of the market, because
that's right, sausage fingers.
The Nintendo Switch is going to sell for quite a long time after the Switch 2 is announced and released.
I think the Switch 2 will not sell as great as the Switch 1. That's my thing. I think the Switch 2 will sell very well. I don't think it'll hit 150 million. I don't.
The Nintendo Switch at least has another year in it, and it's probably...
You're pushing it. You're pushing it. You're pushing it. You're pushing it. You're probably... Well... No, not really. He could be right about that, because they may have like some cross-gen games on that that'll be the way that, you know, it might do that. Like they did with the Wii U and the Switch itself.
Probably going to be sold on store shelves for quite a while after that. And considering the very small gap between the Nintendo Switch sales and the PS2's reported sales, actually completely fake, which has...
So it is kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie, how Sony was like, oh, by the way, we just showed up with like 10 million more PS2 sold. Sorry, guys, there was an error in the books. We're just gonna go ahead and magically show up with another 10 milli out of nowhere, guys. But it's good. It's good. We're still number one. We're still number one. We're the best. We had the best console ever. I don't know if they're fake, but God, it's fucking be funny if they were.
Been proven. You know, considering the very small gap between them at this point, it's safe to say that yes, over the next year or so, Nintendo Switch is going to close that gap. It is going to continue selling units. It is going to continue getting new games, and it is going to eclipse the completely provenly fake PlayStation 2 sales. So,
damn. Is Harman cooking, chat? How long from W to L, chat? How long from W to L? It's a Harman video.
What this means is that in spite of like...
Will the Insider Broke Boy Lewis Super Chat $1.99. Sony probably reported refurbished consoles as new.
Yeah, probably. I 100%. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Sony updating the sales reports, you know, several times over the past several years. Nintendo Switch is going to outperform them anyway, which is a huge blow against the narrative that the PlayStation is the most normie of normie consoles, because...
But then by your own logic, Nintendo is the most normie of normie consoles, making you a normie. Guess you're not so kawaii right now, are you? I'm gonna see myself out. Bad actors, Exit stage. Comment Alex L. Wow! 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 Goddamn. Sony.
This isn't a console that people stuck with for the past 20 years. You know, like, it's
Sure.
kind of crazy. Like, if you're living in, like, my area and, like, seeing what, like, you know, people around you are playing, you know, you see a lot of GameCubes, a lot of N64s, a lot of DSs, 3DSs, Wiis. You never see PS2s. You never see PS1s. You know, like the...
Bro, I have a PS2. What?
The reality is, like, the PlayStation 2 was not a console that was targeted towards gamers. It was targeted towards casuals. It was targeted...
Wasn't the Switch the same way then? There's the L.
How do I look, yellow man?
There it is. There it is. That was fast. That was super fast. Who knew? How long did it take? About a minute.
The people who wanted a cheap DVD player, you know, it never reached the same audience that the Switch did. And that's been a very...
What? I got it, Devastator. I said, Devastator, I told you I got it, bro.
very observable thing, even when it was still relevant, right? It was not something that actual enthusiasts cared about. You know, anybody who actually played more than 3 games a year would own an Xbox or a GameCube.
Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose, 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 expose. It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Exposed. Exposed. Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag
The insanity to fucking think that and have that literal reaction is fucking insane to me. Like, how do those words come out of your mouth as you actually think that's a real thing? That people didn't have a PS2 for games.
1,789 super chat $5. Sadly no 10-man raid tonight. BC Ahul had to call off BC. She wasn't feeling well. Pregnancy sucks
Yeah, it's
more
okay.
at 11. Also, OhNoAlexxStreams has forced a reboot.
I sure have, Edge Knight. No 10-man raid. It's all right, man. It's all good, dude. Thanks for the 5, bro. I appreciate that.
Contrapassos 7N super chat $2 Canadian. Harman has twice the amount of videos than subs.
Oh my God. He uploads like 10 times a day, though. He does. He does.
The PS2, even back then, was a complete and total joke. You know, propped up only by like third parties, like throwing everything they possibly could on it to try and keep it relevant, right? Like PlayStation 2 was a complete and total joke, and that extends to like the PSP, the PS3.
Holy shit, dude!
The Vita, like, you know, the entire.
That's fucking crazy.
Giggity08 Super Chat $2. What's your fav PS2 game?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Probably Dot Hack. Yeah, probably Dot Hack. It's probably my favorite. Or like Devil May Cry 3.
Aproy42 Super Chat $5. The PS2 was marketed to games but had features that normal people would use.
That Aproy, yes, thank you for the 5. That's exactly why it was so successful. He just doesn't like anything that's not Nintendo, bro.
Our PlayStation brand is like built on a mountain of lies, right? It's just a giant. It's all just a giant code.
Edge Knight
okay?
1789 Super Chat $2. The fact she's also RS Tosham in R25 is nuts.
That's crazy, dude. Bro, how... I need Harman versus Reforge. I do.
PlayStation was never competitive. They had to buy their way into this industry, and they're getting driven out in the most embarrassing way possible, you know? And the thing about this...
bro, he fucking smiles every time he talks shit. It's so funny.
They can't update the sales numbers again. Because they gave a very definitive, hard answer this time. Like, oh, we sold 160 million. Like, they really thought that Nintendo Switch would not catch up to that. They really thought that just, like,
just
gradually updating the number.
Harman would eat Reforge alive.
Bro, Harman versus Reforge would be one of the funniest fucking things ever to be witnessed. It would be. Harman versus Reforge would be the funniest thing to witness. Without a shadow of a doubt. The funniest thing.
Numbers over the past several years would be...
Pirate Software versus Reforge?
Justin Budram Super Chat $4.99. Official announcement from Sony: it was an operational issue. PS Plus members will receive additional 5 days of service.
Hey, they got 5 days! Bro, I would love to see... Well, Thor says that exclusivity is good, but because of the cash flow injection. Not because of anything else. Like, not because of what Reforge says.
Silence
So it would be like
donated
that.
$1. Harman would destroy Reforge with facts and logic.
True!
They would be his own facts and logic, but still you can't beat him.
You can't. You can't beat Harman, baby. I do need a haircut, Nick. I do. It is out of control. Look how long this is. Look at this. Look at how long this is, bro. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at this. It's insane. And even the sides are like fucking... like super long, dude. It's bad. When it gets long like that, it gets really wavy.
Be this like very easy thing to do without people noticing it.
Alex Duarte Super Chat $20.
Thank you, bro.
PS2 is the JRPG machine. Let's not talk about Unlimited Saga. That one doesn't count.
So I have to. So thank you for the 20, Alex. Holy shit, by the way. Jesus Christ. The PS1 I think is also a huge JRPG machine. Massive. PS1 is absolutely up there for me. PS2 for me had, in my opinion, I think PS2 had the best balance. It had the best balance of everything.
Mr. Literal Super Chat $2. Alex cycles through wigs to throw us off.
Yep, true. True, Alex and Alex. Yep.
Silence Idiot donated $1. You could pull a Vegeta cosplay if you style it up enough.
Oh my God, stop. No, I don't want to look like Reforge because of that. Stop it.
We're at the point now where it's like mainstream knowledge that they're doing this. And yeah, like, you know, gaming message boards, like Fama boards, are censoring people like me for bringing this up and talking about this openly. But it's becoming a commonly known fact now, right? They can't keep updating the PlayStation 2 numbers to stay ahead of Nintendo.
1,789
No, they really can't. Reddit mods are banning him?
$5. Let me tell chat how crazy that is. Imagine doing the most punishing fight with 1 bill mechanics for 3 hours as a healer with 24 PPA and preggers.
Yep, it's going to be nuts. Thank you for the 5
Matroxic Suts super chat $1.
Dude, Metrix, thank you for the $1, bro. I appreciate that.
Consoles without more people beginning to notice. And it begins like...
He's not wrong there. It's like he goes in waves, right? W to L to W, and L's coming.
Weird contradictions are starting to come up because they keep doing this. Like, for example, who exactly was buying these consoles, right? The narrative has always been like, well, it's selling because of the in third world countries. Like, what? Like,
well, countries like Brazil and etc., like communist countries, do not get a lot of imports, and they do get stuff that's a lot older. So yeah, that does make sense.
What are they playing in those countries?
Well, Brazil's not a communist country. No, it's not. Is it? No. No. It is. No. Is it? It's not. Okay. It's not. No.
It's like bootleg. Like, it's just. It was always just like, it was all just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. That's what it was.
You could easily see through it if you looked into it hard enough. It's been commonly known, like among like hardcore Sony haters for a long time.
Hardcore
I've been
Sony
talking about this for like a decade. Like, I don't remember when I figured out it was the PS2 sales numbers were fake, but like,
he knew this for a decade, chat. Sorry I'm late. What happened to your Twitch stream? Yeah, AV1 encoding wasn't working for Twitch for some reason. I don't know why, but I got to fix that for next time because I moved to AV1 because AMD. But I don't know why AV1 encoding wasn't working, so it's fucking weird.
I have heard other people talk about this as well. I think Razorfist does. Like, it's becoming...
Smoke SH
Wrong person to bring up.
Canadian dollars.
Wrong person to bring up.
Down for a day. Boney's tweet activity unchanged.
Unchanged, Smoke Show. Totally unchanged.
More commonly known. And Sony just, by keeping up this farce for so long, Sony...
Remember what I said? Remember what I said, chat? W to L. From W to L. There it is, Razorfist, right there.
Hasn't really been building up their brand outside of it. Because if you think about...
Matthew says, can we get Harman to give us dating advice? That's the perfect person to get dating advice from, is Harman Smith.
They put the PS2 on such a pedestal that the PS3 and the PS4 couldn't hope to reach. Like, those consoles are seen as lesser to the iconic PS2, which is...
Well, they are lesser. I mean, they're not seen as it. They literally are it. Those consoles are literally lesser than the PS2. In games, in content, in everything. They're lesser, without a doubt.
Propped up by the industry as being like the gold standard of the golden age of gaming. It's not, but like, the narrative is the PS2 is like the greatest thing ever produced.
Facts,
so, like,
glasses are sexy. You got it, Jay.
When Nintendo outperforms that and continues to outperform that and introduces a sequel console that's even more successful, like, what is Sony going to do?
So we can't.
Right? They're just going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs and like keep pretending as if like Aloy is popular. It's like, no, they're finished. They're done. Like, all they have is like an ever dwindling number of fanboys who grew up on their brand, who are all like increasingly realizing that Nintendo is better. It's like
expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose, 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 expose.
is wild how this dude can just pull that off sometimes. It is wild. I want to see, like Blast said, once Day and Date happens on PC, who's going to go to Nintendo. I want to see who goes. Because that will be the day.
Chat $5.
That will be the day.
Sony used to send demos with multiple games back in the day, making gaming a more common thing. Almost moving consoles to online play with adapter.
Yep, 100%. 100%, Xanakin.
What do they think is going to happen?
Like,
so for me, like, this is a really exciting situation to see. We're watching history unfold. Like, we're beginning to see, like, Sony's mountain of lies just kind of, like, collapse in and around itself. And, like, it all
Get him,
starts here.
Harmy.
Like, this is the next major
Get him,
thing.
Harmy.
Like, seeing the PS2 lose its false place as the best-selling console ever made to a Nintendo console. Right, I would argue it's not the only one. The Nintendo DS, I believe, also outsold the PS2. But like, and there's probably a couple.
Yeah, but you're kind of like handheld the console, so it's kind of
couple more Nintendo consoles that did.
MBG first. Ooh, joining the Harman crew.
Sony can't like.
He's half awake.
Why?
He sleeps standing up, chat. Harman doesn't sleep. He waits.
How do I look, yellow man?
About this, like it's leading them to diminishing returns. It's leading people to feel as if like the brand has like regressed from how it was in the 2000s, right? But they can't back away from it because in a lot of ways, like the legacy of the PS2 is like the only thing that people can really talk about positively. Is like, oh yeah, but PlayStation,
because it was a good console, bro. It was just a good console. Just say it. It was a good. He waits. Yeah, he waits.
Sold the most. Like they're not talking about games. They're not talking about like
they always talk about console sales, right, chat? They don't talk about games. They just talk about console sales. 150 million sold, 70 million sold. That's all that matters.
Real innovations. They're talking about a sales.
Get him, Harmy.
Something that I know. Nintendo Switch.
Get him. Super chat 10 Canadian dollars. I do love my Fatog PS2, but for multi-platform games, more often than not the PS2 version is inferior to the Xbox GameCube version. PS2 still king for collecting.
300 PS2 games? Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. They love the console sales game. They do.
Owners will not be doing 20 to 30 years from now. This is something that really needs to be talked about. I don't want to talk about sales. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care how much games sell. But Sony did it. Sony forced us into this position to start talking about the best-selling console ever made because they rigged the sales charts for the past 25 years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. Nintendo is beating their fake sales numbers, and there is nothing they can do about it.
Coming hard.